They thought you'd fold. They thought the silence would bury you. The gaslighting, the shame, the manipulation, it was all designed to make you forget who you were. And for a while it worked. You questioned everything, your voice, your worth, your instincts. They trained you to be quiet, agreeable, easy to control. You weren't raised to lead, you were conditioned to shrink. But here's what they didn't account for. You were watching, you were absorbing, you were learning the game, even when you didn't know it had rules. And when the time came, you didn't break, you cracked open. You didn't just survive. You adapted. You evolved. You started to see the pattern. And once you saw it, you couldn't unsee it. That's when things changed. Not for them. For you, you stopped begging. You stopped explaining. You stopped asking for permission to breathe. You realized that no one was coming to save you. So you became the person who would. You turned self-doubt into strategy, confusion into clarity. Their rejection, you converted that into momentum. You became dangerous, not because you got angry, but because you finally remembered who you are. They tried to break you, but they built you instead. Let's call it what it was. They gave you poison, wrapped in compliments, served with a smile, delivered by people who claimed they loved you. That's what makes it so effective. It doesn't look like damage. It looks like just how they are. It looks like culture, like tradition, like I'm doing this for your own good. But behind every "you're too much" was a fear of your potential. Behind every guilt trip was control. And behind every insult was their insecurity dressed as superiority. They didn't want you to heal. They wanted you to comply. But you didn't. You flipped the script. You stopped drinking the poison and started studying the formula. You looked at the chaos and built structure. You looked at the silence and built your voice. You looked at the guilt and built boundaries. You didn't run from your past. You mined it. You found the blueprint they never wanted you to see. And you started building a life that didn't include their approval. You turned their abuse into data, their shame into fuel, their doubt into proof. This isn't about revenge. It's about results. You don't have to punish them. You just have to succeed so loud they can't ignore it. You took the darkness and turned it into direction. Let's be real. This isn't healing. This is domination. This is stepping into every room like you belong. Because you do. And you always did. You're not fixing anything. You're revealing what was buried under years of manipulation. And the version of you that's emerging, they don't want to meet that version because you're not afraid to walk away. You're not afraid to say no. You're not afraid to succeed without needing anyone's permission. This is what happens when someone decides they're done playing small. You become the storm, the force, the standard. You used to explain your story. Now you write it. You used to apologize for your strength. Now it's the reason people listen. You stopped auditioning for love. You stopped waiting for approval. You stopped proving your value to people committed to misunderstanding you. And now, you walk different. You speak different. You choose different because your peace isn't up for negotiation anymore. You're not trying to feel better. You're building better. You're not recovering. You're rising. You're not surviving. You're leading. And if they don't understand that, good. Let them stay confused. You are the proof that every scar was an investment, that every loss was leverage, that every setback was strategy. They tried to break you, but you turned it into gold. Comment if this is your story. Like this if you're turning pain into power. Subscribe if you're ready to reclaim your voice and your future.